Welcome back to Game On, and as usual, kick things off with the Colac Tigers. What a win for them, 49-point winners over Newtown in the qualifying final on Saturday. Tigers' first final win since 2019. It must have been a pretty exciting one, mate.
Yeah, it was. It was a near perfect performance, really. We executed our game plan to perfection, and we had a really positive mindset heading in. It was for a lot of us. It was our first finals win. Obviously, those straight sets in 2022 and 2023, and there's not too many left over from the 2019 loss. But we had a really positive mindset. We knew. We knew how we wanted to play against Newtown, how we wanted to defend and attack against them, and we executed that really well. They're a young side, and they probably play a little bit different to the other GFL top teams. You know, your St Marys and your Joeys, they like to feed the ball backwards from the contest and sort of run and gun off half back, whereas Newtown, they handball forward and flood numbers forward at all costs, which meant, you know, we had an idea of how we wanted to defend, and we pressed up a little bit higher and sat a little bit higher and tried to really squeeze them. And we knew that if we could turn the ball over quickly, that we'd be able to get them out the back, and that really paid dividends. We, from an offensive point of view, we really wanted to back in our stoppage work and our contested work. We knew that would stand up against them. So when the ball was around the ground, if we could hold up, play and make really smart decisions and just hit the shorts, we knew we could sort of really open up again. And yeah, as I said, that paid dividends. We had 87 uncontested marks to 40. On average, we usually have about 78 and usually concede 60. So that gives you an idea of how dominant we were around the ground. And then with the clearance battle, we won 44 to 34. So it was a really all-round super performance, and to be honest, 50 points probably flattered them a little bit. We kicked 13 goals, 14, and that very much, could have been a lot more.
There was a few injury concerns. I think Jack Malikan copped a bit of a gash early in the game, but played on. Kane Smart hurt his ankle, but he played through that as well. He come off early, iced that, and I suppose the big one was Jared Walters, who hurt his shoulder and could look like season over for him.
Jack Malikan, he had the sort of Joel Selwood sort of strap up, and it would take a fair bit to take him off the ground. He was absolutely terrific. Kane Smart, he said in the paper that he thought he might be okay, but he sort of played with that ankle, looked like it blew up, and it was pretty swollen. Spoke with him after the game, and he was a bit 50-50. He wasn't really sure how it was, but Jared Walters is the sort of big worry. He was pretty sore. It takes a bit to knock him down as well, and he was sort of holding that shoulder. I believe he went to hospital after the game and was sort of in a sling. Yesterday, I'm not sure exactly what it looks like, but that is a bit of a worry. But looking at some other notable players, it was the ex-AFL boys that really stood up. Darcy Lang, he was absolutely superb. Was the best man on the ground by an absolute mile. And what I really like about his game, and it's just a little thing, is when he tackles, he really wraps them up. Just massive bear hug, and you know that he's either going to win a hold in the ball or the ball's going to stay there and they're not going to be able to get it out. So in a final, that's really reassuring that you can set up, and as I was saying earlier, that we knew we were good at the contested battle. So it's just a little thing, but that makes a really big difference. He had 30 disposals, 7 clearances, 2 goals and 7 inside 50s. And then Seb Ross, he's really finding form now. He was terrific again. He had 23 disposals, 10 clearances, 5 inside 50s and 5 tackles, and he really drove that sort of coaching setup that I spoke about earlier. He was massive during the week, sort of setting up how we wanted to play and defend. So I was really happy with him. Jaron McCormack was a terrific target down the line all day. He spoke in the paper about, we thought we could mark well inside 50, and he was terrific. He had 20 disposals, 11 marks, 5 marks inside 50 and a goal. Jack Malikan was terrific as well, 11 disposals, 4 spoils, 5 intercept possessions and 2 intercept marks. And just lastly, I wanted to really quickly highlight Adam Garner's first quarter. He was outstanding and really set us up. He had 9 disposals, 3 goals and 5 marks inside 50s just in that first quarter. So that set us alight really. What do we got? Alvey Imps.
Moving on to CDFNL football now, and it's Alvey. They've booked a direct path to this year's Colac District Senior Football Grand Final after a hard-fought 11-point win over the Colac Imperials in Saturday's qualifying final. And it was the Swans' defence, as it's done all year this year. It really stood up under pressure, and LB coach Shane Quick said they just brought a lot of pressure across all the lines across the whole ground.
Yeah, well, it was goal kicking that really determined the score up until half time. Both sides had 10 shots in goal, and LB converted 5 of those 10, and then the Imps were only able to convert 3 of those 10. So that really sort of determined it up until that point. But in the third quarter, the Swans just really took control there. It scored the Imps 21-7 in that term there.
Yeah, and LV coach Shane Quick, he said his side's form over the past 2 months, which I think that LV have won 8 games in a row. So their form's just looking really strong, and he's really confident in what they can do heading into the grand final in a fortnight's time.
Yeah, the Imps coach Bailey Scott, he said his side lacked a little bit of polish going forward, and that probably speaks to the goal kicking there. But it's probably important to note as well that he was the real driving factor all day. Bailey Scott, he kicked their first 3 goals up until half time, and then their first 5 in total for the day. So he was doing everything he can to sort of drag his side over the line. But LV now will take on the winner of Imps and Lorne in the grand final. Yeah, the winner of Imps and Lorne in the grand final. So it's going to be an interesting finish, that's for sure.
Let's do it.
Lorne will live to fight another day after a comfortable 40-point win over Illawarra Beyak in the elimination final on Sunday, and it was wet, horrible, and windy at Central Reserve. The Bombers had the breeze in the first quarter, sort of going down towards the netball court and they took a 6-point lead into quarter time, but that was probably unders given the gust of the breeze.
Yeah, and Lorne, they dominated in the second, but it's probably a bit of inaccurate goal here. I think they kicked 3-6, and it kind of kept Illawarra in the game. For the Bombers, they held Lorne scoreless when they had the breeze again in the third quarter, but they can only manage 1 goal for themselves. So they were down 11 points in the last, heading into the last, which was going to be always a tough ask against that breeze. And Lorne did dominate that fourth quarter, but a late goal from Toby Middleton in that quarter kept the door slightly ajar for Illawarra Beyak.
Yeah, well, Lorne went on to kick 4 unanswered goals from there, which meant it was a little bit of a walk home in the end, and it means the Dolphins, they take on the Imps in a preliminary final to see LV in the grand final.
Now to CDFNL netball, it was Illawarra Beyak moving into their 4th consecutive grand final with an 11-goal win over Alvi, and it was the Bombers. They got off to a quick start in the clash. They had a 3-goal lead at quarter time, and then they advanced that lead to 5 goals at the main break.
Yeah, Alvi rallied in that third quarter there, and they cut the margin back to three goals at one point, but it was Illawarra Beyak captain Rachel Seabright. She was terrific. That sort of helped them along to that 61-50 victory. And Bombers coach Narelle Frith, she was of high praise for Rachel Seabright. She shot 44 goals from 47 attempts, so that was just deadly.
And since the start of 2022, these two sides have faced off 14 times, and Illawarra's win on the weekend actually equaled the win-loss ledger at 7-0. And the Bombers, they could face LV again, potentially in another grand final. That'd be the 4th year in a row these two sides have played off, with the Swans set to take on Colac Imperials in this weekend's prelim final.
Yeah, well, LV have won two of those 3 grand finals that they've already played, and Bombers coach Narelle Frith, she said she was really excited to see who they would line up in the grand final there, whereas LV coach Sarah Morrissey, she said the slow start for the Swans was the difference and probably cost them on the day. The Colac Imps defeated Birregurra by 13 goals in Sunday's elimination final, and it means the Imps get another shot at knocking off LV this weekend. The game sort of started with both offences just rolling. It was an absolute scoring blitz in the opening term there, Luke.
Yeah, and the two sides, they really stepped up defensively in that second quarter, especially in the first 5 minutes. Both sides had some really crucial intercepts, which kind of, I suppose, stemmed the momentum between either side. But for the Imps, they went on a 10-1 run at the end of the second quarter, and that's really what took control of the game for them. Yeah,
well, Kiara Foster was held to just 30 goals against LV a week prior, and she had 48 this time round. So, they were able to get back to their usual sort of scoring strength. But, it means the Imps, they get another go at LV, which... the winner of that game takes on Illawarra Beyak in the final.
Now to other CDFNL football results. In the reserve second semi-final, it was Lorne 7-6-48, defeating Birregurra 7-4-46. It was a goal after the siren, from Lorne's Harvey Atwell to win the game. So that was a pretty exciting result for the Dolphins. In the first semi-final, it was Illawarra Beyak 8-13-61, defeated South Colac 1-3-9. And in the preliminary final, it'll be Birregurra taking on Illawarra Beyak.
Yeah, and then in the junior football, starting with the under-18s, the second semi-final, Illawarra Beyak booked a grand final spot, defeating Apollo Bay 6-9-45 to 5-3-33, and then in the first semi-final, the Colac Imperials were too good. They defeated the Western Eagles 9-6-60 to 4-7-31, which means in the preliminary final this weekend, Apollo Bay take on the Colac Imperials.
In the under-15 second semi-final, undefeated South Colac, they kept their season Their season record intact with a 6-15-51 win over the Western Eagles 5-5-35. In this first semi-final, it was Apollo Bay 2-6-18 defeating Birregurra 0-4-4. So the preliminary final this weekend will be between the Western Eagles and Apollo Bay.
And then in the under-12s, Birregurra, they're into a grand final now. Yep. They defeated Apollo Bay 8-7-55 to 3-4-22. And then in the first semi-final, Illawarra Biak defeated Colac Imperials 6-6-42 to 4-2-26, which means in the preliminary final, Apollo Bay will play the Illawarra Biak.
Now to some other netball results. In the B grade second semi-finals, an overtime thriller. It was Albi 54 defeating Illawarra Biak 53 to book a grand final spot. In the first semi-final, it was South Colac 29 defeating Colac Imperials 25. And this weekend's preliminary final, it's between Illawarra Biak and South Colac.
Yeah, and then the C grade, Western Eagles defeated Birregurra 35 to 28. In the first semi, Colac Imperials defeated Simpson 30 to 26. Which means in the prelim, Birregurra will play off against Colac Imperials.
In the D grade second semi-final, it was Colac Imperials 35, too good for South Colac 31. In the first semi-final, it was Lorne coming from 5th, 37, defeated Birregurra 20, and in the preliminary final, it will be South Colac and Lorne.
And then for some junior netball in the under-17s, Illawarra Biak, way too good. They defeated the Western Eagles 46 to 25. And then a tight one in the first semi, South Colac defeated Apollo Bay 25 to 24, which means in the prelim, Illawarra Biak will play off against South Colac.
In the under-15 netball, another overtime game, Western Eagles 61 defeated Illawarra Biak 57, and in the first semi-final, it was Lorne 39 defeated Simpson 30, with this weekend's preliminary final between Illawarra Biak and Lorne.
And then in the under-13s, Western Eagles defeated Illawarra Biak 45 to 40, and then in the first semi, Lorne defeated the Colac Imperials 40 to 30. Which means in the prelim, Illawarra Biak versus Lorne.
Now some Colac Tigers junior news. The Tigers under-18 side had a 95-point win over Port Arlington in the preliminary finals. An excellent second half from the side. They kicked 15 goals after leading by just 8 points at half-time.
Yeah, there was a few names that really stood up. Archer Laurie, he kicked 5 goals and was absolutely terrific. Gus Utenhage and Jed Hayde both kicked 3 each. And then Archie Miller, Ted Buchanan, Henry Barber and Kay Johnson rounded out the best players.
Yeah, and in some junior netball, the under-15s Tigers Division 1 side had a 29 to 26 loss to Newtown and Chilwell, so they're out for this final series. The under-13 Division 1 side, they defeated St. Joe's in an elimination final 26-16, and they'll take on Lara next Sunday. And for the under-13 Division 2 side, they also had a win. They beat Newtown in the elimination final 23-16, and they'll take on St. Joe's in next Sunday semi-final.
Now for some baseball news. The Colac Braves, the Division 2 side, have come away grand final winners. They're the premiers. They defeated the Lara Wildcats 8-5 in what was a tipsy-turvy, up and down grand final, but the better side won in the end, which was good to see. The Braves led for nearly the entire game until the 5th inning when the Lara Wildcats, they found a little spark and levelled the scores there after the 5th game.
Yeah, and as you said, with the game level, the pressure was really on the Braves. Braves to respond. Michael Redhill was the hero at the bottom of the 6th, delivering a clutch hit when it mattered most, with Matt Noonan and Brendan De Lorenzo on bases. Reid knocked a pivotal hit to score 2 runs and give the Braves a lead that wouldn't be relinquished. Yeah,
Brad Egan followed up with a crucial hit that scored Reid to give the Braves a 3-run lead, and that was too much for the Wildcats, but it was Brendan De Lorenzo who took on the challenge of pitching out the game, and at one stage there late, the Lara Wildcats had runners on second and third base in scoring position, but De Lorenzo was able to shut them out, and President Jamie Harris just was of high praise for De Lorenzo, saying that was really crucial and just halted the momentum of the Wildcats and gave them a lot of confidence.
And with that win, the Braves, they're going to go up to Division 1 next year, which is pretty big news for them. For the Division 4 side, the Colac Braves have fallen agonisingly short of a fairy tale finish in the Geelong Baseball League's Division 4 comp. Despite leading late in the match, the Braves were overrun in the final innings, going down 7-5 to a really strong Werribee Giants outfit on Saturday.
Yeah, they actually started really well. Simon Day capitalised on a Werribee error and was able to score a run in the opening inning, but it was a sort of back and forth contest all day, and the game was actually tied heading into the final inning. Brian Wilson, he cracked a double up the middle before Darren Morrissey followed up with another key hit to bring home a 2-run lead into the top of the 6th. But Werribee sort of capitalise on a few Braves errors that allowed them to sort of level the scores and then go on to win.
Yep. And for the Braves, Balcom, he really praised the Braves' all-round team effort, and he highlighted a full-game pitching performance from Dan Billings, along with standout contributions from Morrissey, Jason Schramm before his injury, Saxon Cooper at shortstop, and Kyle Morrissey behind the plate. Thanks for watching Game On. We'll be back next week covering all the finals actions from across the weekend.
Nice, mate.
Yep.
Always a bit quicker without Jamie Beale.
Yep.